I'm here to tell you about my greatest failures and some conclusions. First of all, just jump into it. It's great, yeah, first failure. Okay, so at least I have a control here. So, okay, first one, I couldn't get into here. That was my first great failure. That's the law school, most prestigious law school in Hungary. And after high school, I didn't get in because they didn't let through me the entrance exam because they told me I was overly self-confident, acting as if they had already taken me. So I failed. It was no, you couldn't talk to me about this for at least 10 years to come. It was such, for me not getting in. It was a great failure. So I failed this. And, but as it turned out, I got an opportunity to go to the United States, and I was studying in the Bay Area for a year because of this failure. And that's where I actually learned about the internet, what the internet was, and how to use that. Then I came back, I got accepted to another university, and again, it's my second great failure. I failed to get a diploma. I never finished. I quit. It turned out that it's just not one of my main priorities to get a diploma because my main priorities at the time were different. I wanted success because I wanted lots of money, really. And no, seriously, and I wanted lots of money because I wanted women. Seriously, that was the case. So based on what I learned in the States, I started an internet software company in '98, where the big international banks, they didn't know what the internet was. So we were like the first people walking in, hey guys, you need a website. they were looking at me, what? We need a what? Anyway, so I became successful, and I learned money. And that's me back then on the cover of a prestigious IT magazine. However, if you take a look inside of my head, this is what I had as a concept in my mind. It's my company. I know. Everybody has to follow. I have the lead. I know it best. This is how it worked for me back then. And eventually I failed, quite obviously, I know by now. But that was my concept, that it's only me and everybody else, like a pyramid. Everybody else has to follow. So I failed this concept and I crashed. I crashed my car first, then I crashed my company. I was happy to sell for one forint, like zero, nil, the company. And I also crashed my personal life. I crashed my relationship. It was a major breakdown, a meltdown of my life as I knew it. That's me at the time. Just look at the picture. It really crashed. The picture taken before I was moving out of my fancy apartment in the Buddha Hills, early 30s, 6 years ago. So I crashed, and then I retreated because I wanted to solve. I can always solve, so I can solve this one too. I can figure it out. I was sitting over a year in this park, thinking on solution, what to do. And I developed sort of a split personality because I had two big projects, modest projects at the time. First, I wanted to invent the money tree, like come up with the next big thing from Hungary and beat Google and Facebook and everybody, and I can do it because I have such great ideas. Seriously, I was working on this. I was preparing hundreds of pages of business plans for venture capital funds, but they never took them. So I failed again. They didn't accept, the VCs didn't accept my plans, what I would do with other people's money. They told me I should start first. Anyway, so I failed again. But during this time, when I was not writing the business plans, I had this deep inner desire to know it all. I wanted to know it all, everything there is to be known, from Western philosophy and Western science to Eastern traditions, what that would be, and esoteric traditions. So I was like reading hundreds and thousands of pages of books, literature. Day and night I was reading. I attended Tai Chi classes and meditation classes, and I was consulting people regarding astrology and how things are. So I was really deep into it. Actually, I made an ego project out of enlightenment. I wanted to enlighten, because I can do that. And it's easy. But then I failed. I didn't get enlightened, so I failed. I failed again. And then out of this failure, out of this frustration, I was really deeply frustrated. I had these understandings, what is good in life. And I had this deep inner urge to do something so that, I am successful. I started a community site where people can share favors. It's called Favor Network. It's about anybody can come and offer any favor you would like to offer. Not only object, it can be your time, professional services, whatever you want to offer, you can come and offer, and other people can ask for favors. So that was the thing that I studied, and then a miracle started to happen in my life. All sorts of people came, so they thought it was a great thing, and they would help. And I was only being egoistic and selfish. I wanted to shine. That was the main motivation, and I had some understandings what could be the direction. However, at this time of my life, I failed to understand the nature of man, because based on my esoteric understandings, we are all one. So we all love each other. So we are all like little angels, and then no rules are needed, and it should work. But as it turned out, it didn't work. It almost crashed after the first year, because of me not being able to step up and say that, okay guys, this is yes and this is no, and we need some basic structuring. I failed to do that, so the whole thing almost crashed after the first year. For me, that was a big failure, something I had to learn. That's the next big failure, because I failed to provide for myself. I didn't make any money. I was stuck in this pose where, I don't need money. I can do with an old bicycle. There is, I don't need anything. But then, as it turned out, I failed to be honest with myself about my needs. And I had to face it, that, I like things, like I like skiing and I like sailing, and there are things that I still like. I do have needs. So it was also a big crisis for me to understand that, yes, I do need to provide for myself. In this period of my life, I actually moved back to my mother's. I moved back to my mother's early 30s because, I didn't make any money. And I had shelter there and food to eat. So again, that was a big failure for me. So I failed again. And then came this understanding that, a tree is not only the greens that would give you shades. A tree also has roots, and the roots are being selfish. The roots would take out from the soil everything the tree needs for existence, so that the tree can serve its higher purpose of giving us fruit and shade. So I need to be selfish to serve my higher purpose, was the understanding. And I knew that my greens is the favor network, so I came up with a CV that I would get a job, and then I have balance in my life. So great. But as it turned out, at the job interview, I did get an opportunity with a great organization, but it turned out that I realized that there is no way I can manage. There is no way I can be there for the favor network that I've started and work on a full-time job. So I realized that there's no way I can have more than one focus. So I failed this project too. And then I understood that I can only have one focus, and that's the cause. This is the cause. That must be my focus in my life. So, however, again, I failed because during this time, all sorts of other ideas came, and but I nicely incorporated all of them under the trees, and then this was one cause, and these were the sub-causes, but I really wanted to run all of them at the same time. So again, I failed. It turned out there is no way I can manage so many things at the same time, so that was, again, a failure. And then there is the next failure, also number 11, that's a great failure for me. Throughout these years, it's an addiction. An addiction taking lots of my energies, wasted, a lot of my energies. You may know the song, Addicted to Love. So, yeah, but these are serious things, really, to face that I am addicted to impressing women. And that's the way that No, I was addicted to impressing women because that was the way I was compensating. I was compensating because I thought I was a failure. I thought I was not enough. I was not good. So I needed to get some energy somewhere, from somewhere. And I used, in that term, I used women, I used my interconnection with women to get that energy so that I'm good. And that was a serious topic in my life where I failed, and was a constant feeling of failure that I keep failing. I walk on the street and I fail. And I failed this one too. And then came the last failure that I have for you today. Probably the greatest failure that I always wanted to understand. I wanted to understand why this is happening to me. And I've been reading so many books, I should be able to work out a solution and then solve it, really. Life shouldn't be so complicated. I should be able. And but then I got tired probably, and I failed this one too, and then I just let go, really. I just let go. There is just, it's me, and that's it. And there is no way I can understand, and I don't have a solution, really. And this is when I started to be honest about who I am and what the situation is. And then after this, after giving up, came the understanding that, because what I did when I gave up, end of the day, I had so many things that I should have done that I just started doing what I like to do. Really, what I like. And that's what I did, and I was focusing on what I like doing, and I didn't do what I don't like and I don't want to do. So eventually, it turned out that if I really narrow myself down to the thing that I like, that I was born to do, that I have talent for doing, that's great, because then all the space would free up for other people, and then we can connect. And this is what happened. When I started to withdraw from all the projects, realizing that no way I can manage all this, then other great people started to come. And we connected, like at once, TED organizers, many great people came. And we are doing this thing together now. And it's so much stronger than I ever was on my own. So this really was like, light in my life. And after this, that was, the main understanding was that if it's not about, I should not be wanting things. It's not about wanting. It's not even about doing. It's really about being. All I have to do as a human person, it's my understanding, is to be good, really. That's my sole responsibility. I have to be good. I have to be good and do what I like. And if I do that, then I'm in balance. My life is in balance when I'm good. And then my life is a game, really, it's joyful. Great people come when I'm good. I don't need to stress over things too much. And then when I'm good, I'm inspired. Really great, out of the blue, great things, ideas, solutions occur. And all I have to do really is just grab one or two of these ideas, and if I do that, and I plant them as little seeds, then all I need to do is to care for them, to provide for them, to be there, and then it would grow. It does grow in my life. It really does. And there's nothing much to do. I just need to know what I like to do, and then focus my energy and do that, and give it time. Give it time. It doesn't happen overnight. But after a while, it grows into a tree, and that would bring fruits. And the fruits I can sell on the market. And then I have money out of it. And that's just a natural system. It's just the law of the universe that if the seed is sound and I plant it, it would grow. And eventually it turns out to be some sort of a tree, bringing some fruit, any type of fruit. And then when all that is okay, there is peace in my life. In every field, there is peace in my life. So that's my understanding on the personal level. And on an organizational level, my really big understanding is that I thought it was a pyramid, and I was sitting on the top. And then it crashed. And then I thought I was not a leader. But then I realized that actually I was just misinterpreting the concept, because leadership is not sitting on the top, no, it's the other way around. And actually it's a heart. And the heart does have a peak, it does, and it's in the bottom point. I have to be there, serving the whole structure. That's what I have to do. And if I am good at the bottom, serving the whole structure, then the structure is good too. And it all works. And it really, it's not that complicated. And if you think about it, the greatest leader that I know, and I know of that walked the planet Earth, was washing the feet of his team. Really, just be there and serve other people so that they can grow. However, another understanding organizationally that for anything to become of any size, like a tree, there's no way I can manage on my own. And it's more than, yes, I have to be there, and yes, I have to love, yes, I have to support, but also it needs structure. So as a leader, and everybody's a leader in some spot, it can be the family, it can be company, it can be group of people, friendships, whatever, we are all leaders. Nobody is better, we are, just same value, just different functions. And everybody is there. And in order for it to become a structure, it really is a balance of trust and love and acceptance on one hand, and the structure on the other hand. And that's what leadership is about, servant leadership. Be there and be good and know the direction, really. So yes, you have to take, my understanding is that I have to take yes and no decisions. This is yes, and that is no, that's another tree. But that really is, for me, leadership, and it does work. Yes, often I fail, but the direction, the general direction, it does work. Give a structure and also support individual people growing into what they can become, the individual growth, and then they are their colors. And together, it's so much more than I have ever achieved on my own. So that's about understanding of the structure itself. And then I also had to understand that the universe is not just one tree, it's more like a forest. And if I want this thing to grow, then I really have to let it grow. And then, because after a fruit would fall, then other trees need space to grow. So I really need to retreat so that other trees and other people and other leaders have more space. And this way it can grow into a forest. And the forest is so much stronger than a tree on its own. And it is a key moment for me as a founder to draw back so that other people have space. So did I fail? My understanding is that this is just evolution. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just a process we are all in. And I call it a 3 phases process. First, we are all caterpillars, and we eat. I ate as much as I can. But then once we are full, and there is no more that I can eat, then we retreat, and it's just natural. We all retreat into a cocoon and start to pay attention inward and see what we find. But the journey doesn't end there, I think. My journey didn't. My journey wasn't about meditation and reaching enlightenment and then not caring about the rest. If we are one, then there is no way I can, or the whole thing can evolve with anybody left behind. So the best I can do for my good being is to care for the other, because the whole system can only change and elevate and live this way. So once in the cocoon, one would find what he or she really likes to do, and then doing that, that's the butterfly. And that's it. All there is to it. This is it. And addiction, and there is no way to fight an addiction, to fight fire with fire. You cannot win a war. There is no way to win wars. No. I need to decide who I want to be, what is the next phase, and I need to concentrate on that. If I'm a cocoon, then I need to move on. So there's no way to fight addictions but concentrating on the new things I would like in my life, and then they come in, and it's magic, really. So, last one slide is about my dream. This is what we are working on now. It's Favoria. Favoria is it's our dream by now, not my dream. Grew out. We are in 2 countries now, over 20, so close to 30,000 people registering, and we're growing, and lots of volunteers and great work. And our Favoria is the land of trust. It's a network of websites about trust, and we intend to grow further. That's what we do. This is what we got support for lately. And we also came up with numbers. We had a recent brainstorm, 5 years, where we want to be in 5 years. So our 5 years plan is 100 million users. That's what we do. And 10 million favors. And 1 million people gone. That's the most important. They have deleted. They don't need it anymore. 100,000 games, 10,000 causes, 1,000 volunteers working, 100 businesses. So it's self-sufficient, self-sustaining. 10 countries, and then one direction. That's what we do. And if you ask me if I want to save the planet, no. I don't think the planet needs saving. I think it's a great evolutionary process we are in. And it is happening as we speak, as of today. And there is no need for saving. I don't want to save the planet. All I want to do is just enjoy the dance, really. Holding hands and playing it together with everybody joining in, step by step, adding our own colors. So thank you very much. This is all I wanted to say. And one more last question to you. Thank you.